Next up, we have Shivasiddarth Uma.
Good morning, one and all. For my research, I'm basically looking at the feasibility of using fiber optic sensors for structural health monitoring applications. So I have split my research into 3 different phases, and as a part of the first phase, I have been working in building an interrogator which is capable of demodulating or interrogating multiple arrays of fiber Bragg grating sensors. These fiber Bragg grating sensors are optical sensors which are very sensitive to strain, temperature, pressure, and so many other physical parameters. So the interrogator that I have implemented that you can see in figure 3 is a novel one, and the novelty comes from the way in which it has been implemented. The conventional interrogators based on the principles of Fourier transform spectroscopy and similar other techniques first illuminate an FPG and then get the light reflected back from the FPGs into the interrogator and generate an interferogram. So whereas in my case, I am first generating an interferogram and then illuminating an FPG. So as a result of this, the conventional sensors can interrogate multiple FPG arrays at the most in maximum of 1 array. So whereas by taking the approach what I have followed, you can interrogate multiple fiber Bragg ratings across multiple arrays. So you are increasing the manifold of the sensors that you can interrogate. So you get an high coherence interferogram that is reflected off the FPGs, and when you take a fast Fourier transform, you will get a series of peaks, and of course you will have some noises. That is due to uneven delay sampling, and we use a process called Hilbert transform processing to clean up the spectra. So once you clean up the spectra, you get clear distinguishable peaks, and these peaks correspond to the individual wavelength of the FPGs. So as I said earlier, these peaks are very sensitive to temperature, and so when I subjected 2 FPGs to a change in temperature from 30 degrees to 150 degrees through steps of 10, I observed a change or a shift in the peaks, and this change or shift in peaks was plotted as a function of change in temperature. So a quadratic fit to this plot established the fact or established the quadratic nature of the FPG, which has already been proven by Gordon Flockhart. Making a linear fit to this plot, that is the wavelength versus temperature plot, gave me a resolution of the system, which was found to be approximately 0.15 degrees centigrade, which is in conformance with the other techniques. So with this system in place, I am looking forward to move on to the next phase of the project, where I'll be interrogating sensors specific to the structural health monitoring setup. Thank you.
Thank you. That was very interesting. I just want to ask you to kind of maybe explain something in as simple as language as you can. So why does it matter that you can interrogate more than one sensor or arrays of sensors at one time?
See, for example, consider this auditorium, and say suppose you want to, say in a structural health monitoring, we monitor different kinds of parameters like vibration of an part of a building, a temperature at a localized point of a building. Say suppose if you consider this auditorium as such, you will definitely want multiple sensing points. So what happens in conventional interrogation technique is you have a limited number of sensors. Say if you have a limited number of sensors, you have limited parameters that you can monitor. And so you cannot monitor the entire building as well due to the limited sensors. So when the sensor manifolds increase, you can increase the parameter that you are sensing, and you can also increase the number of points that you are sensing. So that is effectively like using conventional systems for, say, suppose you want to monitor 20 sensors, you need 5 systems of capable of accommodating 4 sensors. Whereas in my system, with just one system, you can monitor all the 20 points.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shiva.